Hey, y'all, and welcome to the new book releases of October the 27th, our last full week of October. We are doing something a little different again, as I am using an actual mic. Well, there's an actual mic attached to the camera, too. Okay, this is a babbly video. I'm sorry. Feel free to skip ahead, but I'm using this to try to see if this sounds better and it picks up the cars a little less. I think his mic only picks up like the really loud cars. So we'll see how this goes. I'm Morgan. If this is your first video here, I really hope you'll enjoy it. Check out some of my others to see if you like my channel and subscribe so we can see you every week for the new weekly book releases. Now, let's get into some books. There will be timestamps. We're starting this week off with fiction, with the first one being America Fantastica by Tim O'Brien. At 11:34 a.m. one Saturday in August 2019, Boyd Halverson strode into Community National Bank in Northern California. "How much is on hand, would you say?" he asked the teller. "I'll want it all." "You're robbing me?" He revealed a Temptation 38 special. The teller, a diminutive redhead named Angie Bing, collected $81,000. Boyd stuffed the cash into a paper grocery bag. "I'm sorry about this," he said, "but I'll have to ask you to take a ride with me." So begins the adventure of Boyd Halverson, star journalist turned notorious online disinformation troll turned JCPenney manager, and his irreprehensible hostage, Angie Bing. Haunted by his past and weary of his present, Boyd has one goal before the authorities catch up with him: settle a score with the man who destroyed his life. By Monday, the pair reach Mexico. By winter, they're in a lakefront mansion in Minnesota. On their trail are hitmen, jealous lovers, ex-cons, an heiress, a billionaire shipping tycoon, a three-tour veteran of Iraq, and the ghost of Boyd's past. Everyone, it seems, except the police. Our next one is What Wild Women Do by Karma Brown. Rowan is stuck. Her dream of becoming a Hollywood screenwriter is stalled, and so she and her novelist fiancé Seth retreat to an isolated cabin in the Adirondacks to hopefully get out of their creative ruts. There, Rowan finds herself drawn into a mysterious and unsettling story, that of a socialite turned feminist crusader, Edie Calloway, who vanished in these same woods the summer of 1975 and was never heard from again. A handbook found in the abandoned ruins of the Calloway camp gives Rowan glimpses into who Edie was, and then a fateful discovery offers clues about what might have happened to her. Soon, Rowan finds herself with a story potentially more shocking than Eddie's notes about the sun's salutations and a pineapple upside-down cake would indicate. As Rowan learns more about the enigmatic Eddie, who got a second chance at life after a profound loss, she discovers the camp leader's greatest wish: to help other women unlock their true, though long repressed, wildness. However, Eddie's methods and wild ways aren't welcomed by all, and rifts between the camp owners and threatened by her mission, perhaps perilously, as Rowan draws closer to the truth of Eddie's unsolved disappearance. She realizes that the past may hold two keys: one that reveals what really happened to Eddie Calloway, and the other that unlocks a future beyond her wildest imagination. Man, I messed up several words on that one. This next one sounds very funny. I'm not going to say it's one of a series, but this author has written several in this same vein. It's Why Mummy Drinks at Christmas by Gil Sims. Mummy has always loved Christmas. Sure, the kids turn into demons, the dinner gets burnt to a crisp, and Aunt Louisa's general staggering inappropriateness sends Mummy reaching for the nearest maximum strength festive tipple. But nevertheless, for her, Christmas is always special. This year, she wants nothing more than to perfectly fig up the pudding and sit by the fire reading aloud A Christmas Carol to rapt, rosy-cheeked audience. But just like all Mummy's best-laid plans, this year's festive vision is in danger of being totally derailed by her chaotic family. There's not much chance of any action under the mistletoe, and the kids are just not playing ball. Can Mummy find her silver lining after all and bring the whole family together for one moment of harmony so they can finally proclaim, verily you are the queen of Christmas? Or should she get stuck into the festive spirits and just let it all go? I feel like it should say sucked. Is that suck? No. We're going to go. That's stuck. And now we move into fantasy with The Queen of Days by Greta Kelly. I love this cover. Awesome cover. For Balthazar and his family of thieves, stealing a statue during the annual celebration of the god Caranis was just a good bit of fun, or a way to stick it to the governor who murdered his parents. And yeah, the small fortune and reward doesn't hurt, even if his boss also hired the mysterious Queen of Days to join the crew as a weapon of last resort, whatever that means. But Bao doesn't know the ceremony isn't simply empty words and dusty tradition. It's true magic. the kind of magic that rips open a portal for the god himself. Only the idol that Kuranes planned on using for a body now lies broken at the Queen of Day's feet, and half of it's missing. With the aid of a lovable brawler, a society later termed bomb maker, a disgraced soldier, and a time-eating demon, Bao must hunt down the missing half of the statue if he has any hope of earning his money, keeping his crew alive, and perhaps saving humanity. But as his journey sends him racing through the city and across realities, he discovers that doing all this might just doom the city. The city be damned. It's time to kill a god. I think that is also being self-published. I think. Hopefully I'm also close enough to the mic when I reposition myself. Then in urban fantasy, The Innocent Sleep by Shauna Maguire. This is the 18th in the October Day urban fantasy series. It's for one bright shining moment, Tybalt, King of Cats, had everything he ever wanted. He was soon... Yeah, that's where it cuts off. I only wanted that much because it's the 18th book in the series. I shouldn't say much, but I think this one, since it says that, it's mostly going to focus on that one character. That's what we're going to go with, at least. She writes a lot of books. She writes really fast. Then we move into YA fantasy, with the first one being also a book in a series. This is the conclusion to Once Upon a Broken Heart, A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. It says, blood will be shed, hearts will be stolen, and true love will be put to the test in this breathtaking conclusion to A Curse for to the Once Upon a Time Broken Heart trilogy. 2 villains, 1 girl, and a deadly battle for happily ever after. Yeah, I messed that intro up, but okay. Moving right along, though, because I feel like so many people have probably heard about that series. Or at least here is not the place probably for it. I seem to do that sometimes, but then I don't sometimes. I don't know. We're going to move on. Or is this one, I think this one might be the self-published, actually. Or those both could have been. The next one, also YA fantasy, is called Gifted by Caitlin H. Powell. As long as Bo Hawthorne has known anything, he knows gifteds are extinct. Once powerful creatures with superhuman abilities, gifteds were killed for betraying the humans and trying to overthrow the king. For their deceit, they were driven into extinction. Now, Bo longs to be a scholar at the capital of Aldesia. To escape the cruel and cold estate on which he was raised, his adoptive father sends him on a mission into town, where a twist of fate ends with him being attacked. A stranger saves him and tells him why he was targeted. Bo is a gifted. They had never gone extinct. They had gone into hiding. Enlisted as a key player in a game he didn't know was possible, Bo must work with his new friends to stop the threat lurking in the shadows. Waiting for the perfect time to strike, 5 gifteds must rise up and save the kingdom before the brink of war destroys Aldesia and everyone in it. So, I mean, I think it has promise. I think it has promise. Our next YA is kind of a horror feel to it. At least it sounds like it to me. I don't remember if it was particularly listed by horror, but I think it might have been. Here Lies Olive by Kate Anderson. Growing up in the dark tourism capital of the United States, 16-year-old Olive should be comfortable with death. But ever since an allergic reaction almost sent her to the wrong side of the grass, she's been terrified that there is no afterlife. And after the death of her surrogate grandmother, Olive has kept everyone at arm's length because if there's nothing after we die, relationships and love can only end in sorrow. When she summons a spirit to answer her questions about death, Olive meets Jay, a hitchhiking ghost trapped in the woods behind the poorhouse where he died. Olive agrees to help Jay find his unmarked grave in exchange for answers about the other side and what comes next. Meanwhile, someone or something is targeting Olive's classmates, and the longer Jay lingers, the more serious the attacks become. Blaming herself for having brought Jay back, Olive teams up with maybe nemesis, maybe crush Maureen, ex-best friend Davis, and new girl Vanessa to free Jay's spirit before he's trapped as a malevolent shade and attacks turn deadly. But in doing so, Olive must face her fear of death and risk losing another person she loves to the nothing. Now we move into romance with Iris Kelly Doesn't Date by Ashley Herring Blake. This says it's going to be the last in the Bright Fall series, but from the descriptions, they all sound like they are just standalones in the same place, in the same vein that a lot of romances are. So each book is following like a different couple. This one, though, sounds hilarious. Everyone around Iris Kelly is in love. Her best friends are all coupled up. Her siblings have partners that are perfect for them, and her parents are still blissfully married. And she's happy for them, truly. Iris doesn't want any of that. Dating, love, romance, she'll stick to her commitment-free hookups, thanks very much. Except no one in her life will let her be. Everyone wants to see her settle down, but she just holds firmly to her no dating rule. There's only one problem. Iris is a romance author facing an imminent deadline for her second book, and she's completely out of ideas. Perfectly happy to ignore her problems as per usual, Iris goes to a bar in Portland and meets a sexy stranger, Stefina, and a night of dancing and making out turns into the worst one-night stand Iris has had in her life. To get her mind off everything, Iris tries out for the lead role in a local play, a queer retelling of Much Ado About Nothing, that comes face to face with Stefina, whose real name turns out to be Stevie. Desperate to save face in front of her friends, Stevie asks Iris to play along as her girlfriend. Iris is shocked, but when she realizes the arrangement might provide her with some much-needed romantic content for her book, she agrees. As the two women play the part of a happy couple, lines start to blur, and they're left wondering who will make the real first move. Ooh, it sounds funny and cute. Another sequel novel, though, in a romance series is King of Greed by Ana Huang. This is, I think it's the third book in the 7 Steamy Billionaires based on the 7 Deadly Sins series she's got going on, set against the corporate backdrop, and it has all the romantic tension to keep the pages turning. And obviously, he's representing the sin of greed. Our last romance is called It's a Date Again by Geneva Rose. A guy told me he loved me tonight. Peyton Sanders hopes it's not too late to say it back. Done with dead-end relationships and swiping right, she knows who her heart belongs to. But as she races to tell him how she feels, she's hit by a car and wakes up with amnesia. It gets worse. Peyton has no clue who the 3 men who show up at her hospital bed are exactly, and they each claim to be her boyfriend. They're certainly worth remembering. A rustic-looking contractor, heaven in flannel, a tailored consultant with a smile to die for, and a tattooed chef with a box of homemade chocolates, both delicious. Peyton's friends Maya and Robbie have an idea. Date each man again. Recognizing her soulmate should be easy as 1, 2, 3. On a wildly romantic, dizzyingly funny journey, Peyton runs once again toward love. This time, hopefully, her heart can guide her where her mind cannot. Okay, this next one, I am not sure where to classify it is. I think it was kind of under thriller and fiction. So I don't know which one it falls more into because I don't know. Based off the description, it doesn't really sound thrillery to me. So probably I should have put it up in the fiction, but I don't know. It's called The Cleaner by Samantha Beal. Eddie is the woman you call when you need a stain removed, a drain unplugged, or a body stashed in the broom cupboard. There's not a murder scene she can't erase. Hard work is how Eddie became the preferred house cleaner of SoCal's most prominent murderers. Keeping her mouth shut is why her services have been preferred for so long. When Eddie finds herself tightening a PC cord around the neck of her employer, she realizes she's no longer just the hired help. Now she's watching her tidy network of steady employment collapse in one bloody, sticky mess. She's being blackmailed and filling in for her AWOL maid while trying to stop a sinister plot that may have international ramifications, never mind sidestepping Ventura Police Detective Adam Briggs. And just because she's a little OCD when it comes to cleaning up. Honestly, Eddie can sweep circles around anyone alive, but she's really struggling to keep up with the bodies. Adam Briggs is pretty sure Edith Grant knows where the bodies are buried. She's got to because no one makes $30,000 a day cleaning toilet seats. But every time he gets close to nailing her, professionally speaking, she does something to throw him off the scent. For someone who wields a teapot like a nanny, Edith Grant sure makes him want to break all the rules. How can a woman with a cat named Darling be tied up with all the wrong people? She has a cat named Darling. Okay. And we're going to finish up the week with mysteries. The first one is a novella called The Christmas Appeal by Janice Hallett. This one falls after the first book, The Appeal, but before the second book, which may or may not already be out. The Christmas season has arrived in Lower Lockwood, and the Fairway Players are busy rehearsing their festive holiday production of Jack and the Beanstalk to raise money for a new church roof. But despite the season, goodwill is distinctly lacking among the amateur theater enthusiasts, with petty rivalries, a possibly asbestos-filled beanstalk, and some perennially absent players behind the scenes. Of course, there's also the matter of the dead body on stage. Who could possibly have had the victim on their naughty list? Join lawyers Femi and Charlotte as they investigate Christmas letters, examine emails, and pore over police transcripts to identify both the victim and the killer before the curtain closes on their holiday production for good. Our last book is called Murder Uncorked by Maddie Day. Okay, I don't know how this is supposed to be pronounced, or if it even has the Y in the middle of the name of the bar wine place, because I saw it in two different, one had an O, this has a Y. I don't know. We're going to go with this. As the manager of Vino Yvita wine bar in Kalina's Cecilia C.C. Barton's first Alexander Valley harvest is a whirlwind of activity. Her twin sister, Allie Halstead, who owns a nearby Victorian bed and breakfast, is accustomed to the hustle and bustle of peak tourist season. But Cece's barely has a moment to enjoy her new home in between worrying about her estranged college-age daughter, juggling her responsibilities at the bar, and navigating the sticky politics of the local wine association. Just when it seems things can't grow any more intense, Kallianis is rocked by a murder within the wine community, and Cece is identified as a possible suspect? With her reputation and her livelihood on the line, and the Sonoma County Deputy Sheriff breathing down her neck, Cece has no choice but to open up her own murder investigation. Tensions are already high in the valley as a massive wildfire creeps toward the Kallianis, still don't know how I'm saying that, threatening homes, vineyards, and the vital tourist trade. And now, with a murderer on the loose and Cece sleuthing exposing the valley's bitterest old rivalries and a secret new alliances, Kallianis feels ready to pop. But with Allie's help, Cece is determined to catch the killer and clear her name before everything she's worked so hard for goes up in flames. So I really hope that with the mic it sounded okay, that you liked it, that maybe it blocked out some of the car sound as much because I didn't pause as often because I don't think I have to. I don't know. We'll find out. And we'll also find out if we even use this footage or end up waking up really early and refilming this. But I hope you enjoyed this list, found something interesting. Maybe you want to add to your TBR, just new things coming out that are exciting. I know a few of you have been looking forward to the conclusion for the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. And by the way, if you did not see Saturday's video, maybe you'll want to go check it out. I know it's got spoilery thoughts, but it's also got an unboxing part. And the announcement that the Dark Academia giveaway box is actually still technically available. So if you wanted that, missed out on like getting it or didn't enter, think about it. Be one willing to give your address, of course. Subscribe and comment in the Saturday's video or this one. Maybe I'll take entries anywhere. No, it's too confusing. Let's go to Saturday's video. I hope you're having a great day finding something awesome to read, and I'll see y'all later.